Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Fitness of Your Business webinar series. Today, we're going to be taking you through 3 ways to spark your creativity. Whether you are a personal trainer, a group fitness instructor, or an entrepreneur, I'm going to give you 3 ways to help you really make sure that you get your creative juices up and flowing. Hi, everyone. I'm Jessica Maurer of JHM Fitness, and I am your fitness business strategist. I help you take your next step forward in your career, no matter where you are currently, where you want to get to. Let's dive in and get started. All right, sounds good to me. Do you feel like you're stuck in a rut? You feel like maybe sometimes you're upside down and not sure what to do next or where to go next? Got your head in sand or snow in this case? Don't let this be a frustration for you. Don't let this slow you down. Instead, allow for this to give you a pause so that you can figure out what's working, what's not working, and what you need to change in order to move forward in your business career. So, step number 1 to spark your creativity is to stop thinking about yourself and instead think of your target market. A lot of times when we feel like we're stuck in a rut and we get frustrated, it's because we're thinking about ourselves. We're not thinking about the people that we want to serve, that we want to touch, that we want to bring into our business. So stop thinking about yourself and start thinking about them. Here's something that we know to be true. Customers purchase based on trust, credibility, and loyalty. Business really is all about a strategy system in order to bring in clients to your business and keep them there, keep them happy with you. So how do you do that? Well, you show your target demographic all the ways that you overlap, your expertise and their needs and their wants. How do they come together to interlace with each other? So if you don't know your target market, take some time and evaluate who do you really want to work with, their gender, their age, their living situation, their hobbies. All of these things will help you determine what their pain points are. What are pain points? Pain points are the questions that these people are searching the answers to. So what is keeping your target market up at night? What are they Googling at 2 a.m.? What are they looking for on social media? What would make their lives better? That is what you want to answer in your business. So if you're stuck in a rut, if you can't think of what to do in your next class or what to do in your next training session, what program to create, what step to take in your business, then take a step back out of you and think about them. And I want you to sit down and just create a list of all of the questions that your target demographic is asking, all of their pain points, all of the issues they're having with their current living situation or in their life. What can you then help answer? Because that will help you get out of your rut. If you sit down and you ask the questions that they may be asking themselves, that they're Googling, that they're searching out for, it will spark that creativity that you will know what to do next. This goes the same for not sure what to put on social media. What are your target demographic searching for? Then provide that content, provide that answer, because everything that you put out should surprise and delight your target market. They should be so excited to open the email or come train with you or come to your class because everything you are putting together is for them. So if you feel like you're stuck in a rut, stop thinking about you and start thinking about the target, because that will help you move forward. Now, spark number 2 are the R's. What do I mean by the R's? Well, the R's are recycle, reuse, reduce, and repurpose. If you created something magical once, it's probably going to be magical again. So if you're stuck in a rut, go back and repeat something that was magical, because it will spark new ideas for you in order for you to go forward. If you're worried that your clients are going to notice that you're recycling content and feel like you're, for some reason, not giving it your all, let me assure you, your clients are just as busy as you are. If you can't remember what you taught 6 weeks ago, trust me, they can't either. If you're not able to remember what you posted on social media 6 weeks ago, trust me, they're not able to either. Reuse the magic that you already created, and it will be able to spark and give you new ideas so that you can go forward in your creativity. So reuse your content. Go back and look in your archives and see what you've produced before that you could repurpose again. Maybe you taught an amazing yoga class that you could repurpose and reuse again as a yoga class, or turn into a social media post, or offer on your on-demand platform. Recycle your content, whether it's taking large classes and cutting it down to bite-sized pieces for social media, or whether it's taking social media posts and putting them all together in order to create future social media posts. Figure out what your clients really responded to, really liked, really wanted. You can look at the analytics on your social media to do so. You can dive into the classes that you got the most feedback. You can ask them for feedback. What was your favorite playlist, your favorite song, your favorite exercise? When did you feel the strongest? When would you want to be able to relive this experience or go through this again, so that you are able to simply repackage the magic that you already put out there? Because again, if it was magical once, it's probably magical again. They're not going to notice, and you can very easily repackage and repurpose. Now, a lot of times we fear this idea of recycling content because we think that our clients are going to be bored. Well, here's one thing that we have to recognize as fitness professionals. Your clients are not bored. You're bored, but your clients aren't bored. You may be bored because you teach the same class 3 or 4 times. You teach the same warm-up to your personal training clients 3 or 4 times. But guess what? Your clients are not bored. They need to practice the movements over and over again to get better at the movements. They're never going to see improvement if they are not able to repeat. Repeating and repetition is how you get better. That's where they're going to see the most growth and the most change. So don't worry about recycling content, repackaging content. They need it. The other amazing thing about recycling your content is that it helps you establish that dependability. It helps build consistency. And what do we know about our customers? Well, they purchase based on trust, credibility, and loyalty. So providing experiences that are replicatable is an amazing way to help build that dependability, so that you have credibility in your brand, so that they become loyal to what you're teaching, what you're putting out on social media, the programs you're creating, the emails you're doing. Build consistency. That consistency will help you with the loyalty factor and help build trust, so that customers are more willing to continue to purchase from you, to continue to come back over and over again. Now, spark number 3, create a system. What do I mean by system? How do you create a system that helps you be more creative, right? Because that's what we're here to talk about, is that creative factor. How do you make sure that you stay creative? Because that might bring a special joy to your heart. Maybe creating new exercises and new playlists or new training plans. Maybe that's what really inspires you as a fitness professional. So we want to keep that going, but we need to create a system that helps us do the creativity part. A lot of times people get so worked up and think they have to start everything from scratch. I've got to build this offering from scratch. I got to build this social media post from scratch. I've got to build this class plan, this playlist, this training program, all from scratch. You don't. You know how we teach in behavioral change that we're supposed to take one small step at a time? Yet when we sit down to create these things, we think we got to run the whole staircase. What happens when you run the whole staircase over and over and over again, repetitively? You get tired, especially if you sprint up the staircase and you start with a blank page and think, I've got to recreate everything from the beginning, and you are running as fast as you can up that staircase. What happens? Well, you get tired and you burn out. And burnout is a sign that you don't have the right system in place. Burnout is as a sign that something needs to be reevaluated. Remember in the beginning where I said, if you feel like you're stuck in a rut, it's a great time to pause and to reevaluate where you are to determine what's working and what's not working. If you've been racing up the staircases and you've not been slowly going one step at a time, then your battery might be depleted. And that's the reason you're stuck in a rut. You need to recharge. So how do you recharge and make sure this doesn't happen again? Slow down. Slow down your creativity process. Slow down your creation process. Slow everything down and breathe. Take a moment and breathe. Step back and out, away from your class, away from your training program, and decide on the skeleton of the class you're going to provide. Who is the class for, or who is the training session for? What's the target demographic? Go back to what we talked about in the beginning. What are their questions? And how can this social media post, how can this class, how can this training program answer some of those questions? And once you've figured out the skeleton, you can then dive into talking about the puzzle pieces that are required for the program, for the class, for the training session. We know in the fitness industry that we need an adequate warm-up. So that's a puzzle piece. Well, what goes into the warm-up that makes it adequate for you? What do you need to be in the warm-up? What are the puzzle pieces of your warm-up? Then go to the body. What is the body of the class or the training program like? What are all of the components? What are the focus pieces or the puzzle pieces that put together the body of the class? And then do the same for the cool down. What are the components needed to make a successful cool down? Now, while I am talking about this from a perspective of a fitness class or a fitness program, it's the same idea for an email. What is your warm up? What's the body? What's the cool down? Where's the invitation to come back again? What's the call to action for your next steps? That can be done in electronic way of email, blogs, social media, or it can be done on live. Don't you want to invite people to come back to your class again, to come back to the next session, the next personal training session, or next boot camp session? What's the call to action? What are all of the puzzle pieces you need to create a successful interaction and experience? Once you've figured out those puzzle pieces, then you can lay it out in a way that might work for you visually so that you can actually see, okay, in my warm-up, I know I always do these 3 components, and this is what makes a successful warm-up for this class. Same for the class body and for the cool down. Remember, this works the same way for blogs, for emails, from social media posts. Decide on your puzzle pieces. Now, remember I said we needed to slow down. We needed to not be racing up the stairs, but take one step at a time. Okay, take your class plan. And next week, I want you to only change the warm-up. Change the puzzle pieces of the warm-up and nothing else. And then the week after, maybe change just one component of the body. Just change the cardio section. Change the strength section or the core. Okay, the week after that, change the cool down. Pick just one puzzle piece at a time, but come up with a system so you know what to follow. So that you know, okay, I'm going to do a warm-up. I'm going to change something in the body of the class. I'm going to change the cool down. I'm going to change something in the body of the class. And then I repeat. Warm up, body, cool down, body, so on and so forth. So you have a system to know what you need to be creative about. Again, this goes the same for a lot of the systems that you're doing with emails, with class plans, with training sessions. Everything can be treated in this manner if you take some time to slow down and go one step at a time up the staircase instead of sprinting. Because keep in mind that sprint is going to exhaust you and you'll need to recharge. So instead, think about this in terms of endurance, slow and steady. That will help you spark your creativity, because then you can look at it with fresh eyes and say, I only need 3 or 4, how many ever components are part of your warm-up. I only need to change that and the rest can stay the same. And that gets people excited again. All right, guys. So our 3 sparks for creativity, again, are number 1, think about your target market, not about you. That's a big one, right? Number 2 is recycle your content. Use the R's, recycle and repackage. And then number 3 is create a system so you're not constantly starting with a blank page. Guys, I want to invite you to join me on my next big adventure, which is 5 secrets to success for the instructorpreneur. What is an instructorpreneur? Well, it's the group fitness instructor or the trainer who wants to take the next step forward to success. whether that is moving from a side hustle to a career or deciding to move into management. Maybe it's deciding to open a studio or start an on-demand service. Whatever your next step is, let me help you get there. Starting on November 1st, this 5-hour course is going to be available to you. And you can go over right now to jhmfitness.com and register at our early bird price or our pre-registration price. We are going to be launching November 1st. It's going to be $199, but you can register right now for $149 and go ahead and get on the wait list so that we're ready to launch November 1st. Again, these are going to take you through 5 steps to whatever your next step is, the 5 secrets to help you building a career that you love. No matter where you are currently, I'm going to share with you the secrets to make sure you build a business and a career that you feel is successful and brings you joy and happiness. Thank you guys for joining me for these 3 tips to spark your creativity. I hope you will also join me for my 5 Secrets to Success program. Again, we're going to launch November 1st, but you can go ahead and register now for $149. I promise you that you will see a transformation in your career once you have gone through this course. The course is going to be on demand, so that means you can go at your own pace. You can fly through it, or you can take your time. It's going to be up to you. Guys, thank you again. I'm Jess Maurer. I'm here to make sure that you can reach your full potential. I can't wait until our paths cross again. So from here on out, now you can go forth and conquer. Hope to see you next time. Bye, everyone.